Hi everyone, this is Richard. In this video, let's create and manipulate files. So we've done a lot on the system and things within the program, but we've never actually manipulated the files on the hard drive itself. So let's see if we can do that. And this is a very simple way of doing things. And I think the take-home message is once you get the idea of how to do something, it actually becomes very easy because there are so many libraries that are out there that they really help you along that it really shouldn't be a problem. But you do have to understand some of the basics, okay? And these are really, really basic, so it should be very easy, okay? So I want to create a file. Create a file itself. So I'm going to say file. Oh, actually, you have to use system.io. You do have to import that into the system. So using system.io and file. So this is, as you can already see, it's a static class, right? File.create and create the file name. And it's going to be testfile.txt. This will only create text files from my understanding. Let's run this. If you want to create a different type of file, you'll just need a different type of library, right? So that's beyond this video itself, but maybe we'll do that in the future, but it shouldn't be too bad. So right now you run it and test file is right there, okay? Pretty straightforward. You can delete. Oh, by the way, when you create a file, it's completely blank file. All right, so there's nothing inside of there. But you can delete the file as well. See right there, it goes away, okay? Now what happens, let's create it again. What happens if you want to put something inside of there? That would be the write all text. You don't actually have to create the file. Let's do this again. Let's just delete this. Delete it, and I'm just going to say file.write all text. And what I'm going to say is if the file doesn't exist, it will create the file. So I will say string path and then the contents. So the string path will be test file.txt. And the other argument will be hello there. And let's write that there. And you saw all those other options inside of there. So there are other options in terms of using the file class. Text file, click on it, hello there. That puts it inside of there. Again, if test file existed already, it wouldn't create it. It would just add the text inside of there. Read all text. So I have this file, and what do I want to do? I want to read what's going on inside there. So I'm going to say string contents equals file dot read all text, and that will be testfile.txt. Okay, always remember to put it in quotation marks. Sometimes I forget that. Really messes me up, okay? Oh, actually, you don't know if it actually works, so we'll do system.writeLine and contents. Let's run it this way. Okay, that's good. However, if you're not going to use quotation marks, you can always say string test content equals this is hang on a second. This is what goes into the file. And then I could say file dot write all text. And that would be testfile.txt. And then I would say test content. We could always do that. Okay, so what we'll do is this is what goes into the file. And then in the text, I'll write this is what goes into the file. It's going to be a change from here, right? and then we're going to read it, and then we're going to display it out. So now the string contents has the information, and you can do whatever you want with it. Okay, so if you want to read files on your system. All right, so we can do that. Read all text, copy. Okay, copy. Now look up here. It says string source file name, string destination file name. So I'm going to copy test file.txt, and I'm going to copy it to test backup.txt. See what happens here. Okay, so backup text, test file. Okay, so let me think if there was anything else here to do. Oh, yes. I do want to talk a little bit about the structure. So what if I want to put it in a folder? Okay, first of all, how do you create a folder? To create a folder, you would say something like system.io.directory.create directory. All right, and let's call the file is the folder. Excuse me, is going to say my folder. And we'll create my folder somewhere here. My folder right inside here. Okay. What if I want to create a folder in my folder? Okay, let's do a few things here. First of all, system.io. Notice the system is already being used here, and IO, okay, is already being used. So you don't actually need to do system.io, excuse me. You could just put directory, but if there's any question, you can always write system.io, but it's already being used, so you continue on directory.create directory, okay? I want to create another directory, so my folder slash second. I want to create a subfolder under the folder, and I can do that as well. So right there, my folder and second. Now, notice if you go inside of here, it says, hang on a second. It says string path. What does that mean? That the path means where is this folder in this whole system. There's two ways which you can do this. There is a absolute path, and then there is a relative path. If you look inside here, if you do the absolute path, okay, it's here. It's home, Richard, C# apps, test app, test file. Notice that the end file is always in that path, of course. Before, we just typed in my folder just because we were already right here. And so all we needed to do is one more. What if we wanted to do test app, my folder, second, put it under the second folder way back up here, right? How do we do something like that? We put in the path, but usually you don't want to do the absolute path, you want to do the relative path, okay? Why is that? Well, because I have a system, your system might be different from mine. Like if it was on Windows, maybe your Windows is installed on the C drive, but what if in mine it's the B drive or the Z drive or something like that, right? So you don't know what the user is actually going to have in their system. So you want to have a relative path relative to where your program is. So my program is installed somewhere, and you want to go either down or up on the paths themselves. Okay, so I'm going to say copy relative path on the second, and then it would be, actually that didn't work so well. I was creating it from there. So what I can do with this knowledge, I can always say file, let's say create, actually, let's do write all text. And I'm going to string path, I'm going to say remember quotations, my folder slash second slash, and what is that going to be? I'm just going to write final.txt. Okay, and then string contents, what am I going to put inside of here? The string contents right there, and I'm going to put, if I leave it blank, I think, actually, what happens if I leave it blank? No, I think you have to have it write something. I thought it was just going to leave a blank file. Actually, you could probably do this. It'll just be blank. So blank string. So it should be creating something under the second folder. That didn't work. My folder.second final line 6. Something wrong with that. My folder, oh, actually, hang on a second. Let me try this one more time. I'm going to copy this. What is the path? It is my folder.second. Oh, second, I'm sorry. It's a, okay. Let's run it right now. That gets annoying when I miss some of those things. All right, now it should be right there. Final is under the second. Okay, so you probably caught that before I did. So it was pretty straightforward on how to access files. It's already built into the system. You just have to import the library system.io. Okay, thanks.